Hey there, toy collector friends and fans of collecting of all media types. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Triple TC, that's the time traveling toy collector. And in this video, I'm just going through my mini haul from MCM Comic Con. So I was there on Saturday the 24th? Saturday the 24th, I think it was. My dates are all over the shop at the moment. I don't know. I don't even know what month I'm in. I'm hoping it's still October. But yeah. So Saturday 24th, I'm sure it was the 24th, they all blur together, as many of you will be aware. So I was only there for one day. I was mainly there to see some people, obviously, you know, socialising, daring to come outside of the house to meet people. Also to have a little bit of a shifty around and see what I could find, and more on that in a moment, because I had a couple of results, some of which you may already have seen. And also, I had a fantastic result, which was phenomenal for me, really. I really enjoyed myself, was to get to meet Evan from Hasbro. He was at the Hasbro Pulse booth and showing some of the previously displayed and upcoming releases for the Transformers, Age of the Primes and Studio Series ranges, but also with the release of some of the reveals, which predominantly was the new Timelines, Megatron and Bumblebee, but also the Onslaught Constructicon Commander class Onslaught figure from Age of the Primes. So I managed to get a few pictures of what was available to look at, and I will put some of those up in the middle of this, just so I can just talk you through what I saw and my thoughts around Bruticus, etc. But it was fantastic, and Russell was there, Toys R Us, if you follow his channel. He was there, and he was fantastic. I've seen him, I've met him once properly before, chatted a couple of times, when he does his live streams. But he was there, and it was a quietish enough point where we were able to have quite a decent chat. And similar for Evan as well. It was just really lovely. So if you ever get a chance to go to one of these conventions, the nice thing with MCM is that it isn't, how to put this diplomatically, it isn't one of those conventions. It's huge, don't get me wrong, but it isn't one of those conventions where lots of people go to just see a ton of celebrities and get their photos with them. That is a part of it, but it isn't the main thrust. Some conventions in London, some of the bigger conventions in London, take great delight in just ramming the halls full of people to make money off of. And it is a business, so you've got to make money, so I'm not anti that by any stretch of the imagination. But there's almost sometimes overselling, and the emphasis is very much on that and not on the creatives that come to these things. And MCM was lovely for that. They had Artist Alley, where you could go and see comic book creators, authors, creators of all manner of different types of art and stuff. Really, it was beautiful. It was beautiful to see it, and I crammed it all into one day, and I'm sure I missed stuff. But it does usually run from the Friday through to the Sunday inclusive. But I just, with my existing schedule, that wasn't viable. But it really was fantastic, and they, as I say, they did have some quite heavy hitting A-listers there. So that aspect was there. But if you wanted to actually go and see creators and talk to industry representatives, then that MCM I recommend for that. If you want just to go and get people to sign your stuff and to queue for hours to see people in very poorly managed queues, then there are other conventions available. However, MCM has excellent queue management systems where they are relevant. And almost operates to the same degree of effectiveness as some of the deliberately, what I would call a boutique convention, which is not meant derogatorily at all. But it's like Star Fury, for example, which I frequent for various different convention themes, where it's, as I say, it's a themed convention and it's a limited number of guests. It's not oversold, and everyone gets a very relaxed, informal, fun environment. So if you want an upscaled version of that in London, MCM, I think they do Birmingham as well, MCM is the one to go to. That's I am not affiliated to them. I don't have a stall there. I don't have anything to present. I'm just saying it's a really good weekend or day out, depending on your preferences. So enough about me waxing lyrical about other places. Although if you were there, let me know in the comments down below, because we may have bumped into each other. I managed to pick some stuff up because it's me. Why wouldn't I? First thing that got me really excited was I've got a bagged up. It's a loose figure, which is always great because it means I don't have to go through the trauma of do I open it or do I not. Obviously you can see it's a cyber leader rather. Cyber leader from my loose Doctor Who figures, and as I'm now developing a new cabinet with different lighting from my Doctor Who figures. Apologies if that noise is really irritating. And then I'll stop talking while I do it. But he's lovely, comes with his gun. Come on, gun. I've not taken this. Is the first time I've taken him out. How do I hold it? I can't see how I hold it. It doesn't have a handle. Things you should check beforehand. He's got these wonderful big hands. How does that sit in his hand? For goodness sake, I'm feeling inadequate now. Does it just sort of sit? Does it just hold it? It can't be. Is it a bit missing? Is it broken? Have I got a broken gun? I mean, I don't really need him to be doing anything with it. I just sort of want him to. Is it the right way around? Now I'm doubting myself. Oh my God, this was such a good idea at the time. I don't really care about the gun, to be honest. I suppose I have to say that now, though, don't I? All things considered. Yeah, I don't know how he's supposed to hold it. If you know how he's supposed to hold it, I mean, I'll go and Google pictures later. But if you know he's supposed to hold it, let me know. But anyway, I really like it. I like the detailing on this figure. And it's the leader, which I don't have in my loose figures collections. Gun be damned. But I like it. I like the element of posability, and it's quite an imposing figure, and it will go very nicely in my Cyberman collection. So I'm happy. So stop picking on me. But yeah, if you can tell me how to put the gun in, is there a bit broken off? Have I secured something that's broken off? It doesn't. There is something there, but I don't get a sense that it's broken off. So maybe I'm just being a klutz. Anyway, I'm going to pop you over to the side. Well, I'll pop you there for now because I can. And they're so chunky. They're so kinetic to hold them. It's fantastic. So next is this. I managed to pick this up. Now, unless I'm very much mistaken, this is the B&M exclusive, isn't it? Is this not the B&M exclusive set that I've been traipsing to B&M far too frequently, try and find, and failing? Well, there was a stall selling them. They didn't have the History of the Daleks. They had lots of History of the Daleks, but they didn't have the one with the what's it called? The Special Weapons Dalek, which is what I was after. If they had that, but they had this, which is great, and it's doubly great. And it is because it's the one with the Cyberman. Although I thought it was going to have B&M exclusive on it, and I can't see that anywhere. So maybe I'm now going mad. They did actually have the original version of this as well in the old school packaging, which is what convinced me this was because I started convincing myself this wasn't the new one. And one of the reasons I was convincing myself this wasn't the new one is because I picked it up for £25. So the people selling it, they had some other older sets that were more expensive, but they had this one down for £25. And I thought, okay, well, because B&M have not been stocking this near me, as I've moaned about in the previous video, when I saw that for £25, I thought, that can't be right then, can it? And I checked and I thought, well, I know they've got the gold bits on them that's been spoken about, and these have got gold bits on them, so it must be. So anyway, I bought it because I want these Cybermen are missing from my collection. So they won't be staying in there. They'll be coming out. And I'll do a separate video for that. If it's not something people are fussed about, I'll probably, because a lot of people have done it, I might just stick it on my Patreon for Patreon members. Don't forget my Patreon, it's free. Just going to move you out of the way, mate, for a second. Also, now some of you might have different views on this, but you may have seen my Heartstopper video for the fan cards which were produced. This is the Nick and Charlie vinyl figures from U2's, which are, I don't know how well you can see it, to be honest. It's in a very nice vinyl case, which I haven't opened yet. I haven't opened anything yet. But essentially, it's Nick and Charlie sitting at their desk in school, and you can sort of, I don't know, you can't see it really at all. I can't even get a decent angle on it, but I'll get it out of the box. That I will get out of the box imminently, just so you can see that, because I've got the Heartstopper books, and as I say, I've got my new displays underway, so I'm gonna have this. I'm probably gonna take it out of the box, to be honest, and just have Nick and Charlie at their table sitting, either in front of, on top of, or either side of the probably not either side of the Heartstopper collection on my new displays, because I've dismantled and demolished 2 large bookcases, got in a couple of new smaller bookcases. You don't care really, but it's just to sort of say, as I'm changing my displays, it was just nice. But I saw this first online, and I'm not into Funko Pops and things like that. I can't, no, it's not really me. But I saw this and I thought, oh, that's really sweet. But it was quite expensive. I think it was like 40 quid, which some would say, well, that's not expensive for what it is. And for me, it is expensive. Now, I fully appreciate some people may have seen that 40 quid and gone, you know what, I'm having that. I'm having that. Thank you very much. Not me. And then they had a U2's. Why can't I say it? They had a U2's store at MCM. And I thought, then they're not going to have it. They had it. And not only did they have it, they had it 20 quid less than it's available online. I thought, well, and I adopted a policy at MCM, which I think I'm going to adopt moving forward, because I felt happy about it. And my policy was, see it, buy it. See it, buy it. Which, to be fair, is my policy generally, but I do lapse, because I do ponder, and I do go, oh, but do I really want it? Do I really need it? And now, if it was a considered purchase, i.e. anything going into 100 quid or more, or towards 100 quid or more, I would probably do a double think about it. I would still consider it more. But if it isn't, if and I've set myself a sort of mental budget area, which I'm happy to negotiate with myself if there's a good reason. But I was really looking for this, which I didn't think I'd find, this and anything that took my fancy. Particularly one thing I was looking for was the More Than Meets the Eye Perceptor, Studio Series 86 version 2 Perceptor with the cassettes, because I couldn't get it I couldn't get it, and they didn't have it anywhere. So I was very, very upset, disappointed, upset, inconsolable. So I got around it by buying 4 Cybermen, Nick and Charlie, and 2 Stormtroopers. And you might go, well, why have you bought 2 Stormtroopers? You've just got another Stormtrooper, and you've got a set of Stormtroopers, which you've still not done an opening thing for, all of which is true. This is the Stormtrooper, but they're all vintage collection. But I got this one because it was £12. This was from In Demand Toys, as you can see. It's £12. And this is the card back I remember from the 70s when I got my Stormtrooper. So I've got the new vintage collection version of the Stormtrooper, which again they did have those there as well on the new card back. But I like this card back, and to be honest, it's not staying on the card back, because both this one and the other one will be coming off. Will be coming off and out, so that they can contribute to my Tatooine scene. If I do that, it's risking fate, isn't it, with that Cyberman? And this one, again, it's from the Jedi Survivor game, which, as I've mentioned already, not really something I'm into. But I'm not getting it for that. This was 16 quid. Massive. What a massive bazooka. Well, rocket launcher, I guess, because he's a rocket launcher trooper. But he's got a nice little red sort of shoulder pauldron thing there. And I just liked it. And I thought, you know what? That's a variation on a Stormtrooper that, again, and I know it won't be accurate to the game, I'm assuming, because I don't know the game. But I'm thinking, I don't care. It's not super expensive, well within my budget for this event. They're going in my Tatooine thing. You know, they're going in my Tatooine area, planet building, world, city building, Tatooine environment that I'm going to be creating. Because why on earth not? The fact that this is from I don't know whether this figure, this character appears on Tatooine in the game. I don't know. I don't care. You don't have to tell me in the comments. Please don't waste your time telling me in the comments. Although I do appreciate your enthusiasm, because they must have rocket launching a garrison of stormtroopers that have rocket launching troopers in there who will be dressed like that. And you know, he's going to go with my sand trooper, so I can have them, you know, dotted about in the streets of Mos Eisley outside the cantina entrance. Do you know what? The more I see little things like this that I pick up, I've also just got off eBay, because I'm like that, the Power Droid, Gonk, the Power Droid, because I did it, as it suddenly came up and I did it as a buy it now. So again, keeping it under 20 quid per figure makes me happy. So that's winging its way to me as we speak. So this was really great. Loved this. Absolutely loved my little haul. I will now just do a quick insert for some photos that I took of bits and pieces from MCM Comic Con, with a little bit of my thinking over it, and then I'll wrap up. I'll try and keep it concise, because I know, you know, you've got a busy day today, probably, and I don't want to keep you hanging around. Just while I sort of fire up the photos, if you don't currently subscribe to the channel, well, welcome, first of all, to this video. But if you don't currently subscribe, could you please subscribe? It sounds like I'm begging, and that's probably because I'm begging. But that's only really because I'm trying to get to my next subscriber milestone, and it really helps keep me motivated and all of that stuff. So if you could just drop a subscription to the channel, that would be phenomenal. Costs you nothing. You can still select whether you want to look at stuff or not. You're not sort of compelled to watch everything if it's not up your street. But it would mean you don't miss stuff that might be up your street. And occasionally I might do something that's right up your street. So stick around, do subscribe. It would be amazing. Talking of being amazing, you'd be amazing, more amazing than you already are, if you could drop a like to this video. Particularly if you went to MCM this October weekend, do drop a like to let me know that you were there. And hopefully I'll see you in a future one. Right, let's get these photos sorted out with some of my thoughts. So we'll start off by looking at Wheelie, which looks great in both vehicle and robot mode. We have big mammoth convoy, whatever that is. I don't know how I feel about this. Both modes are impressive in hand, but I don't know if it's something for my shelf. I do obviously need to get this. This is Optimus and Starscream timelines. This is Optimus in his samurai and wagon and buffalo type of mode, and Starscream in his eagle or hawk mode. From that timelines collection. And I think looking at these figures, as close as I could get to them anyway, in both of their modes, again, they're quite small, smaller than you might expect them to be, but I think they look lovely. I really think they will really complement the other timelines collection in both their various modes. So yeah, I'm kind of here for that. Obviously, we also had the likes of Thundercracker, who I think looks lovely. I know there's lots of comments at the moment about whether or not Thundercracker doesn't have enough surface detailing. My view is he has plenty of surface detailing. Someone who has a lot of surface detailing is Amalga's Prime. Really curious looking figure, which of course you can mould and shape into various different versions. Not so much with, here we have Quintus Prime. Beautiful looking figure. Can't wait to get my hands on this one. In both modes, very interesting to look at. We also got a chance to look at the likes of Blastoff, the Constructicon Blastoff. We also saw Cliff Jumper. No, not Cliff Jumper, sorry, Windcharger there. The Leader Class Soundwave was there in all his glory with his cassettes. And I don't think he looks quite bad. The cassettes maybe not so great, but I think overall, if we look at the overall thing, I think he looks really good. I think he's definitely what you want from Studio Series. Brawl was there in all his brawly goodness, so he looked quite good. Something that did catch my eye was the new Grimlock, the Titan class Grimlock. I wasn't too sure whether this was something I wanted. Titan class Grimlock, I thought, now I've got the Leader class version from Studio Series. Do I need this Grimlock on my shelf? And I'm going to be honest with you, once I see it in hand, and you also see the figure mode, which was only in this version at this time. But when you see them together, when you see them in hand, yeah, it kind of makes you go, yeah, I need this. Big sell for me was Lyra Kaiser. He was there in this version. I tried to take a few different shots of him. They're also over on my Instagram. He looks amazing. He looks very filled in. He's huge. Talking to Toys R Us about this, they actually had to cramp him down to fit him in the glass cabinet. That's how big he is. So these pictures showing you him up against the sort of the side and the top of the cabinet, very accurate. Very, very accurate indeed, because he needs to be off that. He needs to be out and about. Here is Onslaught in his, again, it's just the sort of prototype modes, but I think he looked really good. I think the base mode actually looks decent, and it's big enough to sustain other figures. And again, the prototype modes of both of these were on display. Not fully articulate, not sort of super robust and strong, but I think I'm very excited to see what we get from this next. We also had the likes of Jalopy, who was there. I want the Junkion, so it's an easy pick up for me. I tried to get some better shots of Amalgus Prime. Very difficult to get some good angles on him. But I did the best I could, because he just really interests me as a character. They also, for G.I. Joe fans, they had the Arctic Hiss Tank, which looks amazing. The Arctic Hiss Tank, which is a retooling of the former Haslab Hiss Tank. And I'm telling you now, it looked incredible. Talking of things that are from other ranges, they also had the Bantha, which I'm really seriously considering for my Tatooine range. What do you think? And the last thing I'll mention, I think, is this Haslab Tron set that they had out there. This isn't doing well. This isn't selling well at the moment for Hasbro. It looks great in hand, don't get me wrong, as a piece. There's a lot going on. You get a lot in there. But I don't know that the marketplace is there for these figures and these vehicles and this display base. I don't know that it's going to do well. I don't know if it's going to fund. It looks great, but again, as I say, I don't think it's going to be quite what we need to fund it. Would I have one? If somebody gave it to me, I'd love it. I think it looks, I think the detailing is great, as hopefully you can see from these pictures. All the details look fantastic. It really looks like something that would make an excellent display piece. So those were some of my thoughts around the individual things that I saw at the Hasbro booth. And I think there's a lot of good stuff coming. I'm excited for it. I am, and I really am quite keen to get some of that stuff in hand. And bravo to Russ, Toys R Us, because he had sort of hands-on access to all of the stuff out of the cabinets, and has done, I think, a couple of videos looking at those figures in hand, and you know, brilliant for him, and brilliant for us, because we get to see someone who loves these things actually getting their hands on them, and I just think that's brilliant, and I think he's doing a really good job of representing the community, and well, and big shout out to Hasbro for letting him do it, you know, and I think it's a much better approach to drop these things as reveals even at the early stage, because then it gets on, it really cracks down on people leaking stuff, and leaking stuff badly, and leaking stuff that's not complete, so that we suddenly think, oh, what we're seeing is what we're going to get, and it's not the case at all. I've just taken the big, it's very well looked after, by the way. So U2's had the Nick and Charlie thing in this box, which is great. I'm trying to think how I'm going to use it to display something else, because I'm going to repurpose it. Never throw anything away, me, if I can help it. But this one is I don't know whether it's a special edition or it's standard, but it's got a slipcase around the box. So where I've seen the box elsewhere when I've looked at it online, this one comes with a slipcase as well. So I thought I was planning on just having them out to show you at the end of the video, but I think actually it warrants its own little unboxing, which I will do separately. Anyway. Thank you again for sticking around and watching all of this and my ramblings about MCM. Hopefully you've found it vaguely interesting. You've seen some of the reveals and some of the shots of the other stuff that I've looked at, and it was, you know, of interest to you. As I've asked earlier, if you could subscribe, you'd be an absolute star. But if not, drop a like. That's just as star worthy. And if you're just here for the fun of it all, I'm just glad you were. So thank you for viewing the video. I very much hope to see you in a future video, or of course a past video, because it is, after all, the time traveling toy collector channel, so you can bob around time backwards and forwards to your heart's content. Check out some of the playlists. There'll be things, if there were things here that were of interest to you, there'll be things in those playlists that'll be of interest to you. Another reason might be worth considering subscribing. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, take care. You've been fantastic as a participant. watching this. I've been the Triple TC, that is the Time Travelling Toy Collector. This has been my mini haul, really, from MCM, and it just remains for me to say that things of beauty really are toys forever. You take care. Bye-bye for now.